What's up, maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac if you will. And today we are discussing Monday Night Raw. Wasn't the greatest of shows, but we had some major angles, some major things take place. And I'm going to get right into everything that happened, so stay tuned. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you click the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. To start the show, Randy Orton came down to the ring and he was basically saying that apparently Drew McIntyre has not been medically cleared to have their match at Clash of Champions Gold Rush. I hate these little taglines they're adding to everything, but anyway, here we go. So Randy Orton was saying that if Drew McIntyre is medically unfit and not signed off to have the match, that he should be given the WWE Championship. And Drew McIntyre didn't take very kindly to that. Drew McIntyre actually drove to the ring, the ambulance he was taken away in last week. And Drew McIntyre got into the ring, evaded a clothesline and landed Randy Orton with the first of 3 claymores that he was going to receive on the night. So Drew McIntyre getting a bit of revenge on Randy Orton so early on in the show. The first bit of action we had on the night was the Hurt Business taking on Cedric Alexander, Ricochet and Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews and Ricochet were in the ring awaiting Cedric Alexander's entrance when all of a sudden on the entranceway he was attacked by the Hurt Business. So it was kind of crazy to see what was going to take place later on in this match happen after Cedric Alexander had just been attacked. As the match went on, Ricochet was on the apron awaiting a tag from Apollo Crews when all of a sudden Cedric Alexander pulled him off the apron, threw him from the ring into the barrier, to the ring, back into the barrier, back and forth. Cedric Alexander then got in the ring and Lombard checked Apollo Crews. Shelton Benjamin then pinned Apollo Crews, and I guess that cemented Cedric Alexander's heel turn. Hurt Business have been looking to recruit Cedric Alexander for a very long time, and I did want this to happen. However, the more he rejected and Ricochet was kind of seeing this happen, I did think that Ricochet was going to be the one to join the Hurt Business. However, it's no secret that Cedric Alexander is immensely talented as well as Ricochet, but I think he probably needed this a bit more than Ricochet did. Ricochet, because of his talent, is just so much, he would always be fine. I think he's always someone that would land on their feet, but Cedric Alexander, a good choice here as the 4th member of the Hurt Business. And it's going to be really interesting now to see how the Hurt Business develop. Are they going to chase down all the championships on Raw, or are they just going to be this dominant faction? And are they going to look to add anybody else to their ranks? I would love to see them add a woman to their ranks. That would be something different that we don't often see. So yeah, Hurt Business has now recruited Cedric Alexander finally, and they still had another segment within this show, so we'll get onto that shortly. We had Street Profits defeat Andrade and Angel Gaza in a tag match, and there's nothing really to talk about in this match. It was really to motivate. It looks like what we have got is a Gaza and Andrade split. Finally, it looks like these two are just going to walk away from each other and do different things. I believe Gaza refused to be tagged in during this match and eventually just jumped off the apron and walked up the entranceway, leaving Andrade in pretty much a 2-on-1 situation where he got pinned from a frog splash by Montez Ford. I don't mind it. I didn't think it was kind of going anywhere. I think Zelina and Andrade are better off on their own doing their thing, and hopefully we see Andrade climb back up the card because he's eaten a couple losses here which might be a bit detrimental. After the match though, we saw Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, come out and they've basically challenged Street Profits next week on Raw to a Champions versus Champions match. Brand invitational, blah blah blah. They're running out of tag teams basically and they need a match for the Street Profits. So Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Street Profits next week on Raw. In what I kind of found incredibly hard to watch, Peyton Royce defeated Billie Kay. I don't know why they picked these two against each other. I guess it's because of Peyton Royce's little stunt on Raw Underground last week, throwing Billie Kay into the ring. But it was so weird to see these two not be their chummy selves, coming out together, holding hands, all that kind of stuff. And Peyton Royce kind of put away Billie Kay in a quick match. It wasn't a squash, but it was more or less a quick match. They did have a hug, a bit of an embrace after the match, but I just don't think I like it. I want to see these two together. I like these two. They're my guys, man. Like, separating them is not great, and their entrances, their music needs work, everything like that. Their whole packaging as singles wrestlers for both of them is going to need a bit of work, but I guess that's going to be a work in progress. But yeah, Peyton Royce defeated Billie Kay here in their first one-on-one singles match for their singles careers, I guess. Before I let you guys in on everything else that happened on Raw, if you are enjoying this review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. Thoroughly appreciated right here at WrestleManiac UK, and it does loads for the channel, so please hit the thumbs up button. We had a tag team match. Asuka and Mickie James teamed up against Natalya and Lana. It was announced that Asuka and Mickie James are gonna go one-on-one against each other next week for the Raw Women's Championship. So I guess they paired them up here to just see how they will work as a team before their eventual split and face off next week on Raw. Usual stuff that you see when two people don't want to be on the same team, hard tags to each other, tagging each other in and kind of showing that each other, I don't need your help, I can do this on my own. Mickie James was gonna go up top to put away Lana, I think it was, when all of a sudden Asuka gave her a tag, came in, gave Lana the Asuka lock. Mickie James ran on the outside, gave Natalya the Mick kick just to keep her out of the ring, and Lana tapped, and Asuka and Mickie James got the win here. We had a VIP lounge section where the Hurt Business were basically giving Cedric Alexander an induction and welcoming him into the Hurt Business. Shelton Benjamin told Cedric Alexander backstage, this better not be a prank, a game that you're playing, you better be here for real, otherwise I'm gonna deal with you. And in the ring as well, Cedric Alexander just kind of reiterated that he is here for real and here to run with the Hurt Business. But it didn't last long. Viking Raiders came out, joined by Ricochet and Apollo Crews, and they came and just scattered the whole VIP lounge, started a bit of a brawl, and then that turned into a 4-on-4 tag team match. And again here, the Hurt Business showed their dominance, and Cedric Alexander got his first win within the Hurt Business, putting away Ricochet with a Michinoku driver. The finish was a bit funny. Ricochet looked to have kicked out at 2, but they rang the bell anyway. A bit of a mess up there, but Cedric Alexander left looking strong in his first outing with the Hurt Business. We got Randy Orton versus Keith Lee. This match was promised from the beginning of the show. However, just as it looked like Randy Orton was about to put away Keith Lee after an RKO that Keith Lee had avoided for the best part of the entire match 2 or 3 times, Drew McIntyre ran in, claymored Randy Orton for the second time on the show. Keith Lee rolled out the ring, but obviously the match was called off anyway, so I guess Randy Orton has won by disqualification. And the bigger part of the story I think being played out here is Drew McIntyre has again involved himself in a Keith Lee match. So Randy Orton has now got 2 DQ wins over Keith Lee. I'm sure Keith Lee is going to have something to say about this to Drew McIntyre. But yeah, the match kind of ended in a no contest or Randy Orton win here, depending how you look at it. In what I thought was the most intriguing story we've had out of Raw Underground, Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black. Funny to see their two styles try to mesh. Kevin Owens was very much brawling Aleister Black the entire time, while Aleister Black was trying to inflict some of his MMA kind of stuff on Kevin Owens. And it ran throughout 3 or 4 segments on Raw Underground till eventually Dabba-Kato, which they bumped into on the outside, came and laid out both men. So is Dabba-Kato kind of going to get his actual Raw appearance now on Raw and not Raw Underground? Is he getting involved in this feud? It's going to be interesting to see. In the first of 2 handicap matches, Riot Squad were first going to take on just Shayna Baszler, and then Riot Squad were then going to take on Nia Jax. The dynamic between Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax is brilliant. It does remind me of Sheamus and Cesaro when they got paired together and then eventually formed the Bar. Shayna Baszler was just getting abused the entire time by Nia Jax on the outside. Nia Jax telling her, that's okay, I can do better, is that the best you can do? That kind of slander. And Shayna Baszler eventually got distracted by it, and Liv Morgan got a massive win over Shayna Baszler, pinning Shayna Baszler. So Riot Squad actually beat Shayna Baszler in that handicap match. Nia Jax then got in the ring for her side of the 2 handicap matches, and to be honest, it looked like Riot Squad were about to put away Nia Jax too, but all of a sudden the lights started flashing and all that kind of stuff. Retribution came. And Retribution have actually put out kind of their manifesto now. They didn't attack anyone, it was just a segment of them talking. Their voices were muffled, but again, Dijakovic's voice is prominent, even with the muffle. Those that know can tell that that was Dijakovic. So I think he's pretty much leading Retribution now. I think that's pretty much confirmed. And they've basically just said, you know, the usual, they're going to terrorize WWE, etc., etc. So at least they've kind of had a bit of a manifesto now, and I guess we're going to just see where this goes. Backstage, it looked like Randy Orton was leaving the building after the difficult night he has had, when again he ran into Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre beat him up in like that backstage ring that they've built where they sometimes do like interviews and stuff, and got him in there and gave him the third and final Claymore of the night. Randy Orton finished the night extensively holding his jaw. He's been holding his jaw throughout the whole night, to be honest. And obviously before that, Drew McIntyre was holding his jaw. So don't tell me we're going to have some type of jaw versus jaw match at Clash of Champions where the person has to get their jaw kicked off or something like that. That would be stupid, but it would be WWE. So yeah, it looks like Drew McIntyre has got some real good revenge on Randy Orton following the 2 punt kicks to the head. Last but not least, we had a street fight between Dominic Mysterio and Buddy Murphy, and my God, what a fight. What a fight it was. The whole Mysterio family were at ringside. My favorite part of this match was when they had tied up Buddy Murphy in the ropes and everyone had kendo sticks and was lashing the hell out of Buddy Murphy. Even Angie, who reluctantly didn't even come down to the ring with a kendo stick like the rest of them did. Angie was given one by Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio telling her, do it, look what this guy done to my eye, do it, do it, do it. And she put in some lashes on Buddy Murphy as well. Buddy Murphy quit. It was an audible. He said, I quit, I quit, I quit, and the referee rung the bell. However, it didn't stop the Mysterio family. They still continued to lay a beating on him until the end of the show with the kendo stick. So Dominic Mysterio, again, looking very good in the street fight, and yeah, he picked up the win here. So guys, that was my Raw review. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said at the top of the show, the Cedric Alexander heel turn is probably the big news coming out. It has been long awaited and now it has happened. The Hurt Business looking stronger than ever, and I can't wait to see how they're going to navigate through Raw with their latest edition. If you enjoyed today's review, guys, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.